You know the feeling, right? You're in a store, just browsing, and all of a sudden, your absolute jam comes on the speakers. You get a little smile on your face, you start nodding along. It's a great vibe. But have you ever stopped to think about what you're not doing in that moment? While you're lost in the music, you're probably not focused on the products right in front of you.
So let's just dive right into this, because I know it sounds totally counterintuitive. How could playing awesome popular music, the stuff that puts everyone in a good mood, actually be a bad thing for a business? Well, it turns out the science of sound tells a completely different and honestly a way more fascinating story.
So here's the core of it. That playlist of top 40 hits that you think is creating the perfect atmosphere, it might actually be working against you. It has this sneaky ability to hijack your customers' attention, pulling their focus away from, the very reason they're there in the first place. All right, so why does this happen? What's going on in our heads? Well, it has way less to do with your taste in music and a whole lot more to do with how our brains are just fundamentally wired. Let's get into the science of it all.
Okay, think about your brain's working memory like the RAM on your computer. You've only got so much processing power at any one time, right? Well, when a song you know and love starts playing, your brain can't help itself. It automatically starts processing it, remembering the lyrics, digging up old memories, and all of that eats up your precious mental bandwidth.
And it gets even crazier when you factor in lyrics. This is where a little something called semantic interference kicks in. See, when our brains hear words, the language centers just light up. It forces us to multitask without even realizing it. Your brain is trying to process the lyrics while it's also trying to read a price tag or decide between two different products. It creates this mental traffic jam that can actually make a customer just give up.
And listen, this isn't just some theory I'm throwing out there. Real-deal research from the University of Bari backs this up completely. They found that these well-known songs literally pull our attention away from the task of shopping. It creates what they call a distraction conflict right inside our brains.
So let's put these two ideas head to head. Let's look at a direct comparison, your standard top 40 playlist versus a really strategically curated soundtrack.
Really, it all comes down to one thing. Where does the attention go? A top 40 hit is basically screaming, "Hey, listen to me." It yanks you out of the present moment and into whatever personal memory you have tied to that song. But a curated track, it's designed to just be part of the room. It supports the whole vibe without trying to be the main event.
And yep, we're back to those lyrics again. A pop song with a catchy chorus forces your brain to do work, to process language. An instrumental track, or one with really light, atmospheric vocals, does the opposite. It frees up all those mental resources so the customer can focus on what's actually in front of them.
And finally, let's talk about tempo. A lot of popular songs are pretty high energy, and that can make shoppers unconsciously speed up and rush through the store. But with the curated soundtrack, tempo becomes this incredibly powerful tool. You can literally set the pace you want your customers to follow. It's all about controlling the flow of your space.
Okay, this all sounds pretty cool in theory, right? But let's take a look at how these exact principles are being used out there in the real world, with some seriously stunning results.
Get ready for this number because it is just staggering. This is from a classic study. A supermarket did one simple thing. They switched from fast-paced pop music to slower background music. The result? Sales jumped by 38%. Just think about that. Why? Because shoppers physically slowed down, they spent more time in the aisles, they noticed more stuff, and, well, they bought more stuff.
And it's not just about the speed of the music either. Another study found that just by playing unfamiliar music, the kind that just blends in, sales went up by 9%. See, less distraction directly translates into more time browsing and more money being spent. Simple as that.
So for anyone in retail, the message here is crystal clear. Your goal is to create a space that feels so inviting the customers want to take their time and explore. The right music is one of your best tools to get them to slow down, discover more, and, well, buy more. Now, in the world of hospitality, music is everything. It's the very first impression. The second a guest walks into your lobby, that soundtrack is like a handshake. It immediately tells them everything they need to know. Are they in a trendy, high-energy spot or a calm, luxurious retreat? It sets the entire tone.
You know who gets this absolutely right? Starbucks. Their whole philosophy is that the music should be a subtle companion to your coffee. It's brilliant. Their playlists are famous because they enhance that cozy, comfortable atmosphere without ever getting in the way of your conversation or your work.
And what about restaurants? For them, time is literally money. One study found that playing slow-tempo music made diners hang around for an average of 11 extra minutes. So what can happen in 11 minutes? Well, that could easily be another round of drinks, a coffee, maybe a dessert order. All of that directly boosts the final bill.
And it goes even deeper than just tempo. For restaurants and bars, it's about creating this complete sensory experience. It's been shown that playing classical music in a wine shop makes people buy more expensive wine. Playing Spanish guitar in a tapas bar makes the food feel more authentic. The sound literally reinforces the taste.
And then you have places like spas or yoga studios. Here, music gets elevated from just being ambience to being an actual tool. The right kind of slow, instrumental soundtrack is scientifically proven to lower stress hormones, reduce your heart rate, and help you relax. It's a functional part of the whole healing process. I love this quote because it just sums up the entire idea so perfectly. Unless you are literally running a concert hall, the music should just support the environment. You should feel it more than you actively hear it, blending in just like a beautiful chair or the perfect lighting. So, after all that, how do you actually put this stuff into practice? Let's break it down into a really simple, straightforward action plan.
All right, here's your checklist. Number 1, watch that cognitive load. Go for instrumentals or tracks with very light vocals. 2, use tempo on purpose. Decide if you want people to linger or move quickly. 3, make sure the sound fits your brand. It has to feel authentic. And finally, number 4, keep it fresh. Nobody wants to hear the same 10 songs over and over, especially not your employees. So at the end of the day, here's the big takeaway. Your background music isn't just decoration. It's not auditory wallpaper. It is an active, strategic tool. And when you use it the right way, it is one of the most powerful, subtle ways to improve your customer experience, strengthen your brand, and grow your business.
So I'm going to leave you with this little challenge. The next time you walk into any store, any cafe, any business at all, just stop for a second and listen. Is the music just some random playlist they threw on? Or is it a deliberate choice? Start paying attention to the sonic world around you, because now you know it's probably not an accident. It's trying to tell you a story.